Death of 1,000 cuts! What's the best way to try and get a break here? Lands, then Tyon. I was really hoping to get that break so we could get another launch combo off. Rip. Please get a break. Nope. Close out with Senna here? Yeah. Come on, break. Didn't get it. A lot of damage, though. This chain attack actually did a lot more than I expected. Right, because we're playing on normal. Chain attacks aren't super nerfed. If only I could have gotten another smash in here, it would have been insane. He's still going to be really low here. If we can keep up with reses, we might be able to win this one. Oh, yeah, that did way more than I thought it would. We should be able to win this, especially if I can get Ouroboros Interlink 3. Oh, you just insta-killed me. And Alexandria as well. That was cool. All right, maybe we won't be able to bring this back because of that. He didn't kill the healers, though, so actually everyone's getting back up. We should be fine. I might need to just go with a level 2 Interlink. If I can even get to level 2. I'm not hitting any of my auto attacks, which is really annoying. Stopping me from charging up my moves. Keep his attention, Senna. Oh, okay, we lose because he hit everyone. Cool. It's my favorite part of this game is the resing mechanic, where you can just be hit with an AoE move that kills everyone and then you lose as a result, which happens a lot more in this game than in other Xenoblade games because since there are 7 characters, the way they tried to balance it was by giving dangerous enemies moves that could one-shot people and AoE a lot, which was what we were just talking about why I don't like there being so many characters in combat.
Out of my way.
Oh, I was looking at chat and jumped off the edge. Okay, so you're still playing on hard or not anymore? No, I switched to normal after the 7th Mobius fight in a row that took 30 minutes. The difficulty balancing in this game is another thing that I don't like about this game. It's very bad. And I do think that part of the problem with the difficulty balancing is inherently tied into, I think the res system is bad, and the having 6 to 7 characters in combat, the way that they tried to juggle balancing that is also inherently bad. So, you know, just another reason. It's just another thing that is like, this game is not bad by any means. Xenoblade 2, bad game. Xenoblade X, I would probably argue like maybe a fine game, probably a bad game though. Xenoblade 3 is definitely a fine game, maybe good, depending on how it ends at least. But stuff like that is why I just can't get behind saying that this game is great. It's just got too many issues. And I think I mentioned this before, back when we were when I was first starting to sour on the game a little bit at like the 70-hour mark. I think part of the reason that a lot of these issues are kind of like noticeable is just because of how long the game is. I feel like it wouldn't have started to, these issues wouldn't have started to wear on me so much as a player. Oh, hey, I didn't notice this when I first came by here. These issues would not have started to weigh on me so much as a player if the game wasn't still going after 90 hours. Or 80 hours, however long I've been playing. Very long. Bum, 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 ba-da-ba, bum, bum, bum. But anyways, yeah, I switched to normal purely because I could not sit through another... Hey, this is the blue dude. We should chain attack him to death. Focus on this enemy. I could not sit through another 30-minute Mobius fight. Like, I might have quit playing if I did. Ow. Got him. Alexandria with the 6 HP clutch. Bum, 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 bum. Let's lower his physical defense. I blasted through this game in a week. That's probably why I didn't feel like a drag. Maybe? I don't know. That seems weird to me. I mean, presumably you still spent like 80 plus hours on the game, so. I guess getting done with it sooner and then moving on to something else would make it feel like less of a drag in general. I don't know, though, because it's so weird, because I just always think back to, like when I played Persona games, like 3, 4, and 5, those games were all roughly the length of this game, either a little less or a little more. And Tales of Arise was... I beat Tales of Arise doing all of the side content in about 70 to 80 hours, and I did those in, like, a streamer environment, like, spread out, like, I did 3 to 5 hour sessions spread out over a month or two of time. And I never felt a drag with any of those games. So, on one hand, what you're saying does have some merit, that, like, maybe it's because, like, I was able to finish the game in a week and then move on to something else, and you've had to do it for over 2 months. But then, how do you, like... How do you take that into account and then be like, oh, but wait, this other 80-hour game, he did the exact same way, and he didn't feel a drag on any of those? You know, it doesn't really add up. I think I've done this chain attack wrong because I was too busy talking. I usually don't bother with difficulty settings most of the time. Hard, it's just a slog, or easy as a breeze. Well, I mean, it depends on the game, right? It depends on how the games are balanced. Like, Tales of is almost always too easy on normal difficulty, but they have a moderate setting that is right beneath hard that is perfect, usually. One of the games I normally think of immediately when I think of difficulty balancing is Persona 5 Strikers. Persona 5 Strikers on normal, way too easy. That game was a breeze. Persona 5 Strikers on hard, the bosses lasted 47 years, kind of similar to this game, and it sucked a lot. It made the game very unfun at times for me. But Persona 5 Strikers balanced out after about 10 to 12 hours of gameplay, and then it had like another 30 hours to it, which is not a good thing, let me get it clear. They should have just had it well balanced at the get-go, but they didn't. But at least it balanced itself out after a while. This game, I feel like, has never really balanced out its difficulty. It's still a matter of, like, if you're playing on normal, the game is going to feel a little too easy. If you're playing on hard, then it'll feel like decent difficulty, but also boss fights will take 7 years off of your life. Did you see the melting there? You did switch to hard mode relatively early, like Chapter 3, I believe. You say relatively early, but isn't Chapter 3 like 20 hours into the game? We're in Chapter 7 right now, right? So each chapter has been an average of like 13 hours, depending on how you do side content. I mean, I'm on normal now, and the game is too easy. Like, I'll just tell you straight up. Did you see that melt right there? What am I doing here? I have to do you. Bum, 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 bum. I think it's more the side quest bloat that makes this game drag. The combat and stuff isn't engaging enough for the amount of it you need to do with how much side content there is in the game. Yeah, I agree to that. A little bit. I think you're onto something there. I'll never agree with the side quest bloat thing. Xenoblade Chronicles 1 had 400 quests. This one has 191. But you're looking at it wrong. You're just looking at a raw number, which you're being disingenuous. If you look at the side quests in this game and compare them to the side quests in Xenoblade 1, a lot of Xenoblade 1 side quests are just beat enemy as you're going to area, or have collectibles that you've probably already picked up most of them, so you instantly turn them in. The average length of an average Xenoblade Chronicles 1 side quest is probably like a fourth of the length of a side quest in this game, because the majority of side quests in this game have a lot of dialogue and go to specific area, talk to these 3 random characters, then do 2 or 3 fights, have some more dialogue, then come back home. Xenoblade Chronicles 1 does not do that. It has side quests like that, but if you take the amount of Xenoblade 1 side quests that are like the side quests in this game, you probably get an insanely smaller number. Like, no more than 200, for sure. Because the majority of Xenoblade 1 not the majority, but at least half of Xenoblade 1 side quests are just fetch quests that you can ignore and will probably get done on their own, or if you actually focus them, you can finish in like 3 minutes or less if you know where to go. Or they are the longer ones like this game, but again, they're just not as prevalent. So, to say that Xenoblade 1 has more side quests, it might have more as a number, but if you look at the amount of time, like, Xenoblade 3 has more in the amount of time. It's kind of a double-edged sword, isn't it? 400 quests that are relatively all the same, or 191 that have length and depth to it. I would argue that there isn't that much depth to a lot of the side quests I've done in this game. Xenoblade 1, the side quests that are, like, just beat enemies in the area or whatever, if you don't like them, just ignore them. Or just pick them up and never do them. If you happen to complete them, great, you get some bonus experience. If you don't, you miss out on literally nothing. And then Xenoblade 1 has the side quests with depth and stuff that you want. That you're saying, like, I want side quests with length and depth. If you're gonna sit there and try and tell me that Xenoblade 1 does not have side quests with storylines and depth and world expansion on them, then you've just told me you didn't play Xenoblade Chronicles 1. Because it has plenty of side quests that are like that. It also has plenty of side quests that are just, hey, beat this enemy 7 times. And if you don't want to do them, then don't do them. It's that simple. Almost all of the side quests in this game are side quests that are, like, involve go talk to person, have a little bit of dialogue that is like, this person doesn't agree with the commander of this whatever. And maybe that'll interest you, maybe it won't. I feel like most of them are kind of just like, whatever. Like, oh, look, random NPC number 37 had, like, an opinion that he got across in this side quest that made me go to the other end of the area, fight 4 enemies, and then come back and talk to him again. So, you know, I wouldn't really say that, like, those quests are that fantastic, like you're trying to make them out to be. You're launched right now. Get toppled. I got caught up talking to chat. Easy overkill. But you're missing the point. Your argument was that Xenoblade has a higher number count of... Let me go back further. Lone Wolf's argument of what makes this game feel like a drag is that the amount of side content is so long and so much, like, dialogue involved and going with it is that it takes too long to get through it all as a result, and the game inherently is not enjoyable enough, and that's not going to be true for everyone. Other people are going to enjoy it more. Me and Lone Wolf aren't those people, but I think it's a fair criticism as a result. It's going to drag on the whatever. It's going to drag on the game content, and the game has to be able to hold that up, which I don't think Xenoblade 3 can do very effectively. Yo, I got the break. Let's go. Xenoblade 1 may have a higher number of quests, but it's... Words, I'm getting lost because I'm trying to also play the game at the same time. But, anyways, Lone Wolf's argument was that this game has too much drag in the side content, etc., etc. Your response to that was Xenoblade 1 has a higher number of side quests, which I and Lone Wolf disagree with you saying that, because the side quests in Xenoblade 1, a lot of that number can be dragged down to, like, you don't need to do them because it's just for experience and SP. It has nothing else to it. And a lot of them just get done by chance. Like, you just end up getting the amount that you need for turn-in fetch quests or fighting enemies along the way while you're doing the main story or the actually more fun and enjoyable side quests. That has nothing to do with, do you think that Xenoblade 1 or Xenoblade 3 has side quests that are better or not? It literally just has to do with your argument of Xenoblade 1 has more side quests, which leads to more drag, is incorrect, because the side quests in Xenoblade 1 do not take as long as the side quests in this game.
Huh? Here we go,
Hello.
guys.
Let's give him the usual, Noah.
Still baffled that Senna's Ascension quest didn't add any depth to her character at all? Yeah, it was pretty bad, wasn't it? There's no defense for that one. I will take, like, you know, if you got other opinions on, like, well, I actually think the class system is fun, actually, or, like, I enjoy the gameplay more, then, you know, you can just chalk that up to taste at the end of the day. I think you're wrong, but you can chalk it up to taste at the end of the day. But, like, if anyone tries to step to me and say that Senna's Ascension quest wasn't horribly mishandled and just wasted, then I know I no longer need to bother arguing with you because you're blind. There's no point. This thing's name is Ian Horish. I love these names, dude. Cheers, you're a gem.
the girl with the gall.
I'm the girl with the gall. Open up.
This is our first time here, isn't it?
Hey.
Furnaces. Were they created inside Origin?
Kavesi and Agnian ones together. Snuff me.
Let's continue on.
Good thing we found this.
Bum, 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 bum. Senna had an ascension quest. It was just tied to another hero. That's bad.
Good.
That right there is bad. The primary focus of the ascension quest should be on the character whose name is on the tin. Senna was almost irrelevant in hers. Did you see how they... Oh, do we have to fight? Did you see how they did Mio's, where like Miyabi was a part of it, but was nowhere near the focus? It was still focused on Mio? That's how you do it. Senna's was entirely focused on Gondor and what's her face? Shania. That's horrible game design. She may as well have just not even had one. It certainly feels like she didn't have one. Excuse me, could you stop being alive? For some reason, all the other enemies on aggroed except you. I love missing my topple move. Goodbye. I swear if this thing respawns and aggroes, I'm gonna be mad at the game developers. All right, we're good. Open up.
Whoa, check this place out.
Gimme.
Are Gondor and Monica going to be okay? You are?
They'll be
It's
just
nighttime
fine.
already.
We need to focus on what we have to do.
Hopefully Gondor won't be fine. Hopefully Gondor dies.
Let's use this.
His right hand is like grabbing the side part of the ladder. What the heck? Who climbs a ladder like
We
that?
should be able to move ahead.
Oh, this is cool. We haven't had like any platform elements to this game at all until just now. Interesting that they would bring something like this in here. Giving me ether mine flashbacks from Xenoblade 1. I think Xenoblade 1 was the same way.
This way.
We should locate some device that'll reverse the direction it spins.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Xenoblade 1 had that bit at the ether mine and then like nothing else after that either. I think they realized very quickly, like, you know what, there shouldn't be platforming in these Xenoblade games. Let's just nix that idea altogether. That was really easy. Thank goodness we know how to operate this machinery. Maybe Mio knows how to operate it all because of her M memories. I don't think... M's never been in here, though. I don't think. Not that I recall. I think there's a bonus thing if you go all the way around. Whatever. Level 66! I probably will, if we get to another campsite, jump up, like, probably 2 levels.
Let's go, Noah.
I don't want to have to do any level grind before the final boss at the very end. That would not be very cash money. I love the launch smash, dude. It never gets old. Bum, 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 bum. Goodbye.
What I expected. I'd say we were moving in sync, right, Tyon?
What's behind here? Oh, hey, it's exactly what I was just talking about.
We could do with some food.
When was the last time I used the food
Nice and
mechanic
clean.
in this game? Does anyone know? You know what I think I'm about to do, chat? I think I'm about to spin 75 gold Nopon coins on this. Because I don't think we're going to get 11 more before I finish this playthrough. This pathway has already been pretty long. I feel like this is either the final area or the penultimate area. I don't think I'm gonna kill 11 more unique enemies. I'm just gonna do it.
Looks good to me.
Shall we try it straight
Life-saving
away?
expertise 9.
Will that be all for now?
That will be all for now, yes. And then... how high level can I go? 78. Put me just 66, you think? Just put me up to 66. We'll see if that's good enough to get us through the rest of the game. If we have to do another boost before the final boss, that's fine. For some reason, I didn't think the heroes would also have bonus experience, but clearly I was wrong. That ought to do it.
Definitely feel stronger.
I, too, feel stronger. You guys didn't even get close to each other in that little training skirmish. What the heck?
Ugh. Let's be off.